The movie opens with Judy, an elderly woman, sitting alone on the sofa, absently watching TV while her nurse, Grace, moves around the kitchen. Judy notices the clown doll on the shelf, gazing at it with unease. She carefully climbs on a stool to adjust its position, then steps down without incident. As she fixes the stool back in place, we cut away abruptly to a busy hospital scene. Here, Judy's children, Megan and Noah, have just arrived, tense and uncertain. Megan, anxious and upset, explains to Noah that the doctor said their mother suffered a massive stroke. It's possible Judy's speech will never return, robbing them of any real chance to talk to her again. Noah, however, seems detached, joking lightly, as if unable or unwilling to process the gravity of the situation. After Diego takes the kids home, feeling an overwhelming sense of loss. As they exit, a disheveled man catches their eye, Doug Metzger, wandering the street. Megan points him out to Noah, reminding him that Doug lives in a group home nearby and was a childhood acquaintance. His mother was Patty Metzger, who famously disappeared in their town years earlier. Arriving at Judy's house, Megan and Noah are confronted by chaos. The place is in total disarray, piles of clutter everywhere. When they cautiously head to the basement, the smell of mold and sight of water pooling on the floor makes Megan wince. Noah, especially sensitive, is enraged to see his old childhood belongings ruined. He shouts in frustration, memories crashing back as Megan searches for the source of the leak. Suddenly, she notices a suspicious hole behind a wall panel. Driven by curiosity and anxiety, she tears away at the panel, and both siblings recoil in horror when the remains of a corpse tumble into view. For a moment, time seems to stop. After regaining her composure, Megan recognizes the decayed tracksuit as belonging to Patty Metzger, a woman who vanished in 1997. The siblings recall how, at the time, the whole town was searching for Patty, while they themselves were sent away to their grandparents for a week, only to return and find new paneling installed in the basement. Everyone had their theories about the Metzger family's fate. Mr. Metzger had become a local pariah, suspected by his own kids of killing their mother, ultimately drinking himself to death. Only Doug stayed in town. The rest moved away. As the siblings recall these details, Megan argues they must call the police, but Noah objects fiercely. He doesn't want to tarnish what he sees as their family's reputation for something that happened so many years ago. Their father is dead, and only Doug remains of the Metzger children. Noah even confesses that his business is failing, and he is swimming in debt. He's been counting on his inheritance, which he will only receive after their mother dies. If the corpse is discovered and the Metzgers sue, they could lose everything, forced to sell the family home. The conflicts mount. Megan is disgusted by Noah's self-interest, but reluctantly agrees to remain silent, at least for now. Megan leaves and returns home, while Noah decides to stay at Judy's. Diego senses Megan's stress, assuming it's about her mother, and tries to comfort her. Noah, in turmoil, wanders the house at night, eventually finding his deceased veteran father's gun and some bullets hidden in a drawer, objects loaded with heavy memories. The next morning, Megan and Noah meet again, still shaken, and decide they have no choice but to get rid of the body. Around 3 in the morning, they sneak the remains into a polyethylene bag and stuff it into Megan's car. In silence, they drive to a secluded lake on the outskirts of town, a place nobody visits. Once there, they dump the body, and Noah warns Megan not to share what's happened. Not with Diego, not with anyone, not even a therapist. Days pass, and Megan attempts to return to normalcy, dropping her kids at school. But she is shocked when news spreads. Students, testing water at the lake, found a plastic bag containing human remains. Police suspect foul play, and Megan feels consumed by dread. Later, at the hospital, Megan and Noah run into Lieutenant Zell, who is questioning Judy about Patty and seems intent on linking the recent discovery to the family. Annoyed, Grace asks Zell to leave. Afterwards, Zell privately confirms the body was identified as Patty Metzger, thanks to dental records. She simply wants any information that could help. The siblings assure Zell that if their mother remembers anything, they'll reach out. Back at Judy's home, Megan and Noah are startled to find Grace relaxing by the pool, drinking beer and cooking steak as if she owns the place. When Megan demands an explanation, Grace delivers a bombshell. Judy told her she killed Patty 30 years ago. Grace has been to the basement many times and noticed the leak, but Judy refused her offers to fix it. Earlier today, Grace checked the basement herself and saw the torn panel, meaning she knows the siblings found the body. Smug and calculating, Grace demands $10,000 or she will go to the authorities. She taunts Noah for being useless, but tells Megan she could easily manage such a sum. Noticing that Grace is wearing Judy's Rolex, Noah erupts, but Grace claims Judy gave it to her. Seeing no way out, Noah concedes. They'll pay. Megan nearly panics trying to scrape together the money, considering her savings and even her children's college fund. But Noah warns her that giving Grace money once guarantees she'll come back for more. Instead, he suggests they bring in Bodie, their cousin, and a local criminal who would do anything for Judy. Megan hesitates, but Noah insists. If Grace exposes them, the fallout would destroy their family and future. Noah visits Bodie at his farmhouse, explaining the situation. A nurse is blackmailing them, blaming Judy for an ancient murder. Bodie, skeptical at first, insists Grace can't prove anything, but when Noah paints a picture of Judy's declining health and vulnerability, Bodie's loyalty to family wins out. He agrees to scare Grace, convincing her not to bother them again. On the day of the exchange, Megan and Noah wait in their car outside the diner. Bodie arrives, assuring Megan that family comes first, and she thanks him for his help. When Grace shows up, Bodie volunteers to meet her alone. Inside, Grace is dismissive, joking about being threatened while continuing to insult Judy and the family. Bodie's anger flares when she flaunts the stolen Rolex, ultimately threatening her with violence if she crosses the line. Bodie storms out, leaving a shaken Grace behind. Meanwhile, Megan and Noah panic, fearing that Bodie has taken the money, but he returns it, reasoning that paying Grace would only breed further demands. Elsewhere, Lieutenant Zell is stunned to learn that although Patty had been dead 30 years, her body was only dumped recently. That night, Grace and Sean, a large man, confront Noah at Judy's house, banging on the door. Terrified, Noah texts Megan, who is in the middle of a clothing live stream, and lies to Diego about an emergency at the hospital. Grace grabs Noah's phone and gives Megan a deadline. 19 minutes to show up, or she'll call the police. Megan speeds over, but Grace has already alerted the cops. When the officer arrives, Noah explains they heard a noise, but insists everything is fine. The officer meets Grace and Sean, who Noah tries to pass off as friends, and departs after finding nothing suspicious. Grace, now emboldened, demands $25,000 for her silence, planning the exchange at an abandoned train bridge and warning the siblings to keep Bodie far away. As they leave, Sean, the big man accompanying Grace, confesses in the car that he's no criminal. He's just a hairstylist roped into Grace's scheme, desperate for money for his daughter's college. He's rattled by the danger, but Grace, ever manipulative, assures him the payout will help his family. She privately reveals that she plans to turn the siblings in regardless. At the bridge, Megan manages to bring only $22,000 at short notice, promising to pay the rest later. Sean urges Grace to accept and move on, but she refuses, mocking Megan's attempts at protecting her family and threatening to call the police. Infuriated, Megan finally snaps, launching herself at Grace. In the chaos, Megan kicks Sean's bad knee, causing him to collapse and bleed profusely. Grace screams that he needs a hospital. Noah, desperate and losing control, pulls out their father's gun and shoots Sean. As Grace tries to flee, Noah shoots her in the back and she disappears into the water. Shaken, the siblings clean up as best they can. Noah insists on calling the family lawyer and confessing, but Megan warns him sternly to keep quiet and not even search anything online. Doug unexpectedly appears, remarking on blood in Megan's hair, which unsettles her. The next morning, authorities discover Sean's body on the train bridge and Grace's washed-up corpse. Lieutenant Zell immediately connects the deaths to the siblings' return to town, suspecting a pattern. At a family dinner, Bodie makes an unannounced visit, bringing up Grace's death in front of everyone, which unsettles Megan and Noah. He teases the young kids, hinting that he knows a major secret about their mother and uncle, and then insists that family should stick together, inviting everyone to his farmhouse for lunch. The siblings later discuss Bodie's odd, ominous behavior, speculating that he knows about the murders and poses a new threat. Noah, now plagued by guilt and nightmares, begins relying on drugs to cope. The next day, Megan and Noah visit Bodie's farmhouse at his request. Bodie leads Noah inside, feeling awkward about the untidy, weapon-filled room. There, Bodhi presents his swords and daggers collection, challenging Noah to a mock duel. They play fight, but the atmosphere turns tense as Bodhi swiftly gains control, nearly striking Noah for real. Megan bursts in, fearing for her brother's safety, and trains a gun on Bodhi, who is heartbroken to see his family turn against him. Noah yells for Megan to shoot. Bodhi bolts outside, and Noah chases him, blade in hand. A violent chase ensues, with Bodhi brandishing swords and crossbows, declaring his loyalty to family and swearing he'd never betray them. But Megan, caught in the frenzy, shoots Bodhi in the heart, and Noah stabs Bodhi in the back. When Noah leans close to check if Bodhi is dead, Bodhi stabs Noah's hand, so Megan shoots Bodhi again, ending his life. She pulls Noah's wounded hand away, douses it with vodka, and wraps it in cloth. They dump Bodhi's body in a remote lake, with Megan surprisingly exhilarated by the dangerous act. Afterwards, Megan confronts Judy about Patty's death, accusing her of murder after an affair with Megan's father. Judy is racked by regret, replying with two broken words, "Fell Patty," implying it might have been an accident, but Megan is unconvinced. Lieutenant Zell questions Megan about Noah's recent injury. Megan glibly claims Noah stabbed himself slicing an avocado, and when Zell mentions the engraved Rolex found on Grace's body as evidence, Megan answers with calm indifference. Zell warns that such murders are eventually solved, even decades later, but Megan shrugs off the implication. Back at Judy's, Megan finds Noah and Doug playing video games in the basement. Noah comes clean, admitting to Doug that he confessed out of guilt and plans to return to California, never to come back. Megan, cold and determined, says Noah cannot leave. He must stay to care for Judy. Together, they wrap Doug's body in plastic and hide it next to Patty's, sealing the space behind the panel. With the house unsaleable, Megan orders Noah to remain, dedicate himself to looking after their mother, and consider honest work after she passes. The film closes on Megan, back in her normal routine, the weight of her actions invisible to outsiders, as if nothing had ever happened.